Show of hands, who here is a feminist? Feminist.
What is that? Can you define it?
I mean, there's varying definitions.
Like support women?
Yes.
Nah.
Feminism would be...
There's made it into some extreme thing.
I mean...
a feminist doesn't mean that you're running at rallies and stuff every day.
So it just
Feminist
means
is
support
someone
women.
who supports women.
Nah, that's not really...
Someone who supports that
that's way too
general idea
charitable.
of
Yeah, way too charitable.
That's way too charitable.
Someone who
definition.
supports the
so
general idea of
here's my
feminism.
nicest definition.
No,
Feminism,
do the real one. Do what you think feminism is.
Well, I'll give you here, I'll give you two then.
Okay.
My charitable definition is feminism is a woman's advocacy movement, but baked into that means it's not an equality movement. So feminism is women's advocacy, but it has nothing to do with seeking
So feminism
equality.
means that like women who think women are better than men.
That's
No, not
true
necessarily.
at all.
Not-
For extremists.
Not under
they
my
can't.
charitable
Just like-
definition. There's nothing wrong with women's advocacy, but my own assessment, as charitable as possible, is is feminism is not truly an equality movement. It's about advocating for women, which is fine. My real definition of it is a woman's advocacy movement, but it's also clearly, strongly anti-male. And has massive amounts of anti-male rhetoric. That's my definition.
Based off your first definition, yeah.
Yeah, the first
Okay.
definition. Yeah.
Okay. Who here's a feminist?
Off the first one.
Yeah, off the
Now,
first one.
but what about this though? Should we smash the patriarchy? I should have added
I don't think they're really.
No.
there's another definition. A movement towards equality while simultaneously dismantling the patriarchy. That's another definition.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I think
In favor of the patriarchy
I
based.
think women's advocacy is good for problems with women, like specifically women, but I think it's important to prioritize equality over that.
You're explaining this as if people explain the Black Lives Matter movement saying that black people are better than white people, and that's not what it's about. Feminism
it
is
depends
also
who you
not
ask,
about
though.
women being better, and Black Lives Matter is also not
That's
about.
total straw man. Didn't even say that.
Well, I mean, you kind of are referring to it in the same way. You're saying that like a lot of feminism is people thinking that women are better than men.
No, what I
Or, like,
specifically said
overt
is
women over
there's
men.
overt anti-male rhetoric in the feminist movement and misandry. So misandry, the counterpoint to misogyny.
I feel like you're missing. I feel like that line of thinking is part of the issue. Though it's like you're missing the point.
I think people
What do you
took
mean?
the.
What am I-
I think that like
am I missing?
there is anti-men and there's like also anti-men and anti-women.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
So like I don't
But
think
the
that like
feminist movement, it's
You don't
steeped
even-
in anti-male rhetoric.
I
believe,
kind of agree.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think they took the feminists and just made something that
It's
it
perverse
was.
now.
hey, that's
That
what I
wasn't.
that's the yeah.
Like,
that's not
I'm
what
a-
It's the
feminism
mainstream feminism that
Yeah, it's the
is-
mainstream feminism. I actually believe that it should be. It's equality. I'm talking about across all boards.
I don't.
I think that women should be drafted. I think that women should get out there and do men's work. If that's just me, but to me, if you're going to talk about women's rights and equality and all that, then it should mean everything, not just when it best benefits you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, that's my first definition, because if, for example, if there is a form of equality that comes to the detriment of women, feminists absolutely will not fight for that equality
Yeah.
if it conceivably comes to the detriment of
Right.
women. So, for example, equalizing the military draft. That would create equality between men and women. This is not a feminist talking point. Feminists don't argue for this. There's other certain things, like, in example, in Florida a couple years ago, I think it was the National Organization for Women. I could be mixing it up with another women's org or whatever. The court system was trying to equalize custody between parents, between fathers and mothers, with an assumption that both parents should have equal split custody. The way the law previously was that women were treated preferentially in the court system. Feminist organizations, women's organizations fought against this because conceivably doing that would come to the detriment of women. That's why my position is Feminism, while it advocates for women, doesn't actually seek to have equality if said equality hurts women in some sort of way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
How does having more access to your child hurt women?
Well,
I feel like women want to have their kid.
No.
I don't
So
think that's.
they want.
I don't
so-
think the feminists were like.
No, they were
Fuck
arguing
this,
against
like-
the other position, saying it hurt. I guess it hurts women conceivably to their detriment because women often want more. They don't want 50-50 custody. They want more custody, but in the interest of fairness and frankly what's best for the child, it is best for both parents to be involved, and we shouldn't do this bigoted gender sexist thing of defaulting women to getting custody
I've
of their
never heard
children.
any feminist movement about that though. I feel like that's
Okay, just
that's
because you
not-
haven't heard of it doesn't mean
Yeah, but
it
that's not
doesn't exist.
feminist, really. That's not really about women. That's not that's more about childcare.
The organization, hold on, that's a component of feminism and gender dynamics between men and women. The organization I cite to is the preeminent women's advocacy or feminist organization.
The courts absolutely do give usually the rights to.
Oh no, I know that. Okay. I know that. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, there's massive bias in the court system against men, especially as it relates to custody.
It doesn't matter even if the man makes more money, the court's still in favor with the woman, usually. I think that it shouldn't be that way at all. I guess I'm not a feminist, but I mean.
But look, there's nothing necessarily wrong with groups of people wanting to advocate specifically for their in-group. But
Right.
I don't think feminists want to paint it as it's about equality. Well, only equality when it benefits women.
When it benefits them.
If it doesn't, they'll fight against the equality. So just call it what it is. It's women's advocacy. Nothing wrong with that, but don't try to.
But what was the
parade
point
it.
of bringing up feminism? I'm pretty sure so.
No, I was just asking who's a feminist here. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think, I don't know, do you believe?
No, I think that parents should have equal custody.
Yeah, sure. But I was
Depending
just
on the
giving you one
situation.
example in which feminists will fight to ensure that there isn't equality in certain realms. for
So
the
are
benefit-
you for so what's your position on feminism?
What's my position? I mean,
Yeah, are you a feminist? Do you care
absolutely
about
not. Absolutely not. Definitely not a feminist. You might even say I'm an anti-feminist. That doesn't mean anti-woman, because there are male feminists. So I'm anti-feminist because feminism clearly, especially with much of the rhetoric that is espoused by feminists, is really, really harmful and misandrist, and it's clearly anti-male. And the whole foundation of most feminist teachings and theories is anti-male, and that's the patriarchy theory. If that's your basis for establishing, that's the lens that you look
The
through.
basis for feminism was women should vote.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's how
But-
it started as.
And it turned into.
Yeah, there were
way-
legitimate.
Exactly. I'm more
There
traditional.
were legitimate
feminist.
things that were unequal when it comes to, certain things that women had that men, or that men had that women didn't. But if you look at much of the rhetoric involved, even historically, but especially modern day, when women have secured all these rights and there really is equality between men and women, most of the rhetoric is incredibly misandrist and quite anti-male. I mean, I guess I would ask you, if feminism is about fighting for women's rights, I guess I would ask, do you think that men and women don't have equal rights?
100% men and women do not have equal rights.
Okay, well, I guess which ones? You're saying you're laughing because you think it's self-evident?
Yeah.
How could I even ask that question? Well,
Literally the pay gap. The what?
okay, I'll engage you on there,
literally
but
men are paid
sure.
more.
I'll engage you on the pay gap,
that is-
but can you tell me what are some of the actual rights that men have that women don't?
I guess rights. Do you mean
Yeah.
the right to bear arms and the right to vote?
Well, that was the conversation.
I
We
guess
talked
yeah.
about
Legally,
rights.
legally no.
But why did
legally
you
in a lot
scoff
of-
then? If it is the case that women have equal rights to men,
Well,
why did
I
you?
guess I was thinking more just are women seen as equals? I was thinking that way. I shouldn't have scoffed.
are women seen as equals?
Yeah, I don't think that women are seen as equal to men.
In what way? I think you have to be a bit
I
more
think
precise.
that we're looked at as more like stupid and like I think it's true. Like you don't feel like you get talked down to by men because you're a woman.
I do.
No.
I feel that way every
I
day.
know. My
Okay,
ex-
I get
my
talked
ex-
down
I
to
know.
by women, so I
That's
mean,
true.
Yeah, but I
Well,
don't think
actually-
that they're talking down to you because you're a man. Maybe some women that are super anti-men.
well,
So maybe there are women that are anti-men that are like talking to you, but I think that like a lot of people are born with like a.
but what if somebody's
internalized
just
sexism.
stupid? Like, what if a man is stupid? What if a woman's stupid?
Then you treat them like they're stupid, but not because
Okay.
they're a man or a woman, because they're stupid.
But I think one thing that's interesting to me about that is it seems like it's often the case when a bad thing happens to women or a bad thing happens to a minority, somebody in a minority group, whether they're Hispanic or they're Black or they're Asian, whatever it is, there is this yearning to the bad thing that happened to them happened because they're part of this identity group. A bad thing happened to a woman, and it happened because she's a woman. But we don't put this sort of same thing on
So
men.
give me an example of something that like someone like
Sure,
something that
I'll
might
go-
happen to me, and then I might say like, okay, it's
Okay.
because I'm a woman.
Well, you mentioned Black Lives Matter recently, so I guess I'll take it in that direction. So,
I can't wait.
yeah, so what happened, look, that whole thing's very complicated. The George Floyd killing, there's varying disputes over, did he OD? Did the police contribute to his unfortunate death? There are legal disputes there. However, nothing actually in the conduct of the police officer would indicate to me that it was racially motivated. But those were race riots. A black man did happen to die, and that's unfortunate. But there's nothing in the actual conduct of the police officers that would indicate that they was racially motivated. He did happen to be black, but where's the racism?
I think that in that situation, I honestly am going to say like this one thing, and then I think that like what I was really asking was an example like for myself, like
Okay.
something that would happen to me, so that I can judge like would I say, oh, is this because I'm a woman or whatever. But in that situation, I think it's really just statistics of things like that happening to
Well,
black men over
Sure.
white men.
Well,
And I think that-
then shifting off of that, then the exact example you provided, you say men talk down to women, and you're saying that it's because they're women. But then the reverse.
But why would suddenly, after like so many centuries of sexism and women being less than, and like suddenly, yeah, okay, we have the same rights, but suddenly like men are really gonna treat you the same? Like that's just not how it is. That's not. Women also women. I think that we have internalized sexism too, and sometimes we might think a man is better suited to be our surgeon than a woman. Like if you're like, I think that it's like.
Do you think that?
No, but I
Okay.
think that off first bat, a lot of people, maybe myself, if I was given two options, the first thing, because that's what we're trained to think, is that like men are gonna do a better job at certain things.
I don't
think that it's
that
true.
way. I don't think that way.
Actually, I mean, again, I'm sure there's been studies on this. I'm not familiar with them. There maybe has been some studies that actually maybe point out that in some surgical practices, women have some degree of better like hand-eye coordination, or I don't know the exact. Anyways, that's besides the point. Manual dexterity. Like, for example, and this would kind of just make sense without like a study needed, like assuming women have smaller hands, they're better able to like make sort of, like if you have big man hands or some shit, it's kind of like hard to, like with really small instruments, so.
I think that men are better than women at some things, and women are better than men
Yeah,
at
I
some
agree with
things.
that.
Biologically.
I agree with that.
But I also think that there can be women that are better than men at things that men are normally better at too.
And vice versa.
Sure.
No, I agree.
I think
Yeah.
it literally
Sure.
doesn't matter if you're good at something, you're good at something. That's the end of the story.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, did it sound like I was saying that people should think that men are better surgeons?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
Just
don't-
making
I don't
sure
think so.
that's not.
But so I guess one thing actually, you mentioned that there was a lot of sexism for long periods of time. Are you talking like about the vote?
I mean, I'm
little
talking
bit?
about like
A lot of
everything. Like
things,
we all
okay.
know like the history of sexism. Like what?
But you do realize, for example, men only got the right to vote very, very shortly before women. Like it was not a long period of time.
You mean like poor men or black men or Native American men? Are you talking about this
All
country,
men.
other countries?
All men.
Because voting started happening?
Yeah, so voting is a pretty new phenomenon for the vast majority of human history.
Yeah, I think we
People-
started voting in like multiple hundreds of years ago. Maybe, yeah.
Broadly, voting is very recent, past 200, 300 years,
Yeah, women's voting is like past
100 years. So I think the
That was- women's
differential.
suffrage
So
was
in the United States, I think the difference is like 50 years from when all men could vote and from when all women could vote. Very small period of time.
Yeah, but that's all men. Like they waited to allow like men who were poor or that weren't property owners and stuff to vote. Like that was years after like men with money or white men. Like first it was men that were property owners and like were also religious and also white could vote, and then it was men that were property owners and white, and then it was and then like it kept going like there, but it was, up until the very end it was just men who were this and men who were that.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that for the vast majority of human history, most men and most women didn't have any power, didn't have any say. So this idea
That's true.
this
Like
idea
monarchy,
right, there were kings and
Yeah.
emperors and this sort of thing, or the
most of the time it was men that were kings and
yeah, sure, but that's
right?
a very small apex of men that had any power.
I
So
know,
this
but it was
idea-
men, wasn't it? It wasn't women.
Right, but that's an apex fallacy. So just because, like, I would say that has
Yeah,
more
but
to
you're
do with
talking
power.
about everyone else didn't have
Yeah,
power,
but
so then
also
the people that
queens
did
came
have
into
power.
Queens came into power, so it wasn't just men.
Okay.
Are you
No,
denying
I
that queens had power?
no, I think that this conversation has gone really far off of where we started, and I just don't really feel like I need to
I'm
continue
totally
it.
fine having the conversation. It's
Yeah, no, I'm
you
good having the
upset, or-
conversation too. Does anyone else want to input anything though?
all right.
Let's
Is that
have a
just-
new topic.
No, I'm just.
No, we can talk about it. I'm totally fine with
I
it.
don't want to talk about it.
Is it?
No, I just feel like I'm
uncomfortable
trying to give
truths?
its history lesson right now.
I just don't feel
Truths?
like I just don't feel educated enough to like
That's totally
be a
fine.
part of this conversation
Totally fine.
accurately. So I'm just
No problem.
spectating for now.
And that takes a level. It takes a
Yeah.
level of intelligence
That's
to
what I'm
say,
talking
you know
about,
what?
things
I
I
just
don't
don't know
know
about
about.
this. I don't want to weigh in. That's
Yeah,
totally fine.
I don't know enough.
So, as far as equality goes, yes, women do have they can own houses, they can own credit financially. They used to not, so we did come a long way. However, there are still things that men are given more privilege to, as far as pay. The pay rate is actually a serious thing. The girl from Shameless actually quit the show because they were not paying her the amount of money as the other guy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well,
Go ahead. Finish your
and
thought. I'll respond.
presidency, we only have one vice woman president after so many years, and she still didn't win because she is a woman, and a lot of other reasons. Women just
Wait, hold on. Let's do one thing at a time.
go ahead, knock yourself out.
Because I'm going to have difficulty keeping up if we're just shotgunning all these things.
Right.
Okay, so
I don't think she didn't win because she was a woman, but
yeah,
That's
I
part
would
of the
say.
reason.
But there's there's a reason we've
it
never had a woman
It had
president.
nothing to do
Like
with.
because people don't.
Had nothing to do with the fact that she was a woman.
Part of the reason. It was one of the reasons.
I think it was part of
It
the
wasn't
reason.
all of it, but
Wait.
it was
I
one
think
of
she
the
would have
reasons.
gotten more
Wait, would
votes
you-
if she had all the
question,
same
would-
policies if it was a man.
Would you, if you could choose, not knowing their specific politics, between voting for a woman or a man, who would you vote for?
A man.
A man.
Oh,
Absolutely. I don't. I
who
think.
would you pick, the man or the woman?
I think. Well, first of all, if just solely based on their sex.
Yeah, assume it's like your political affiliation, your political alignment, but they're just mostly the same. One's a man, one's a woman.
Mostly the same woman, just because men have been ruling all this time and it still has not been any different. If I feel like it would probably be different if a woman did run the country.
How would it be different?
Well, first of all, when far as we say women can't be presidents because they're emotional, too emotional, we think of the fact that the guy in office right now is a little too emotional. Guys are also emotional creatures as far as reacting on their anger impulses and setting things like, overturning Roe v. Wade and all that other stuff. Why are they, they're acting on.
You realize there are multiple female justices on the
No,
Supreme
I agree.
Court?
Absolutely. I'm not sitting there and saying that there aren't women who also.
He didn't overturn it, right?
Well, I'm just
that's
saying.
That's not his decision.
I'm just saying, like, wanting to do that.
Wait, when did that happen during the Biden administration? When did that happen? I
That
forgot.
happened during
It
Trump's
wasn't
first term.
It wasn't during his second term though.
It was his
when was
first.
that? Was it? I thought it happened.
I'm just saying, dude. Like, honestly, the Queen of England has been ruling England for such a long time.
The Queen of England is dead. There's a king now.
Well, she's ruled for a long time outside of being dead. Obviously, I
Okay,
mean,
yeah, she did rule for a long
She
time.
did rule for a long time.
What's your point?
My point is that that's prime example that women can run a country. There's
Wait.
also women in South America.
Hold on. The UK, the country which lost all its that lost its entire empire, lost its territory, and then has like rampant crime issues in all of its major cities, and has imported.
Well, that's because the king or queen of the country in the UK, it doesn't actually, they don't
that
rule
is
the
true.
country.
At least
they
in
don't
the
rule
Like the queen does not
yeah,
rule the
they don't-
country.
they don't
you do
rule
make
the
a good point. In the UK, it's primarily a ceremonial position. They don't really have much say or power as it relates to the politics of the country. Although she probably had a bit more say, a little bit, like earlier in her reign. But the monarchy's like over time gradually lost power. So,
Right.
okay, here, let's just jump to the wage gap then, because you also mentioned that. Yeah, there's no wage gap.
I agree with that too.
Well, how come there are CEOs who get paid more than women CEOs? And it's a factual thing. I mean, you can Google this. That men do get paid more in certain fields that women also are in.
Well, who brought up the actor from? Who was
I
that?
did.
Oh, you did.
Emma Rawson. She actually did quit Shameless because they were not paying her the money. Same with the Scream woman, the lady who played Scream.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think the extra on the set of a Brad Pitt movie should be paid the same as Brad Pitt?
An extra? That's
Yeah.
different than a main character.
Okay, how about sure? Should a brand new actor who's
She's not
also a
brand
main
new.
hold on, just
Okay, go ahead.
you can give your specifics after. Brand new main character co-starring with Brad Pitt. Do you think that person should be paid the same as Brad Pitt?
No,
Why?
because she's an upcoming actress. It'd be like somebody with years of experience should not be getting paid the same amount of money as someone who's just came into the field. That's
Okay,
in
so
every
now that we have
occupation.
that established, give me the specifics of this female actress in your show.
So Emma Rawson is a very known, well actress. She played in numerous things. I don't even know the guy who played Frank. I don't know his name.
Is he the main
he's
guy? The
yeah,
older
he's
guy?
the father. Yes.
I've seen like one episode of this show.
And
What's it called again? Shameless?
Shameless.
I love that show.
Emma Rawson plays the Fiona, the bigger sister. However,
main character.
Yeah,
Wait, hold
a
on.
main character.
Shameless?
Yes.
What's his name?
I don't know the guy who plays Frank. That's
William
why.
H. Macy? Is
Yeah,
that him?
apparently he's a really big actor. I mean, I don't only know him in
Okay, he's
Shameless.
75. And then Emma Rossum,
Yes.
who's 38.
Yes.
Okay, and this show's been going on for a long time.
A long time, and she wasn't in the last, I think, season or two.
Wait, so hold on. You're comparing a guy who's been in Hollywood for like decades, and you're surprised that because of his seniority, he's being paid more for.
No, not necessarily. She also is well known in a lot of other movies,
She doesn't have.
and she removed her clothes on TV.
So?
Yeah.
So, well,
So?
they typically pay you more money.
They're
Okay,
supposed to pay you
sure.
more money. Like, I'm not about
Yeah,
to get
not more
naked.
money than like the guy who's been in Hollywood for decades upon
But
decades.
what I'm okay. Well,
Wait, hold on. How long has this show been going on?
like 12, 13 years. Okay.
Wait, okay, it started 2011.
And ended in.
So she's 38. So she would have been like 22, 23, 24. I'm
Mind you,
sorry.
she
That's
played-
really young, and that's very young in Hollywood. It's not surprising to me that the main character of the series was paid more than his super much younger female co-star.
They were all like
does make
she was also a main character, is what I'm saying, and
Yeah,
she's not like
so?
an upcoming new actress.
He's trying to make the point that she's still not as experienced.
She's not as senior as he is.
Yeah,
I don't even
It's
really-
like seniority. Of course, you're going to get paid more if you have more qualifications, more experience. All those things are going to equate to more pay. And
William Macy has two-time Emmy Awards, 4-time Screen Actors Guild Award. I don't know if this is from before
I think
the
this
show.
is not a great example.
Okay,
that
I'll give
she's
you
making?
another example. Okay, the girl.
Here, let's do the WNBA. We have a women's basketball
Well,
player
I feel
here.
like the WNBA, we're getting paid based off views and tickets. So like the men basketball, like they're getting paid based off of views
Wait,
and
hold
tickets.
on. We'll come right back to this. I
right?
need to let a couple chats come through. Sorry for the delay on these guys. I was so interested in talking about Shameless that I lost track.
Right now.
Pasty George donated $200.
Thank you.
A feminist is a person who dislikes or hates the male gender and seeks control of men under the guise of equality. They seek the overthrow of the patriarchy. All waves
Okay.
of feminism have occult origins.
Excuse me. Wow.
Well-
Anybody disagree with Pasty George there? She disagrees. Why is that, really quick?
I think that's
I
a
don't
little
explain comment.
aggressive.
I think that's a little aggressive as well.
He's
But you
Canadian.
did say that
he's
there's-
Canadian, so just blame it for him being Canadian. We have Britt. Looks like Britt bought a hoodie from our merch store. Thank you guys. That's coming in right now. You don't need to pull it up. It's fun. Britt, thank you for that. All these Twitches are coming through. So then we have another one from Pasty here. And then we'll get Soch. Thank you, man. Britt, thank you for the t-shirt purchase. Appreciate it. Thank you. Or sorry, not t-shirt. You got a hoodie. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then we have Pasty again.
Pasty George donated $200. The Queen of England made many poor decisions during her reign, and she was responsible, along with the Vatican and particular churches, for the residential school era and other atrocities as well.
Oh, are you talking about what was going on in Canada?
Well, a pope is a male in the Vatican, so I don't really know the point of that one. But
Okay.
a pope is a male, so
Sure.
Wait, when were we talking about the Pope?
well, because he
Anyways,
brought up the
Here, we have a
Vatican.
chat from
No,
Wizard.
I think they're talking about
How
the fire.
stupid to still believe in the pay gap. Do some research, not just TikTok. If you own a business and can pay equally qualified women less, you would only hire women. All men would be fired.
yeah, I heard.
This is a good argument.
Yeah, and I watched Candace Owens a lot, and she made like such a great point that just a lot of the jobs that men do are just naturally higher paying too, especially because they're a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more intense, like firefighters.
Well,
and
I
stuff
get
like that.
We're not
that.
talking about job per job.
I'm
We're
not talking about-
I know, but that's why the
Same
average.
job.
But that's why
But-
the average
But
is
it
different.
should be
Yeah,
based
That's-
on.
Yeah, we're not talking about
It
the
should be
average.
based on the
I know,
But that's,
career,
no.
that
not
is the
the
wage gap. So
Yeah.
what the
Oh, I don't
uncontrolled-
mean the average wage gap.
No, but the wage gap is they say women earn 79 cents to the dollar a man makes. That stat that they were always, whatever it's 83 cents, 80
I
cents.
apologize
Hold on.
for the yeah.
The wage gap there is what they're doing is they're comparing all the money that men make, all the women that money make, and just doing a like for like comparison. It's completely anybody who does statistics knows this is like actually like retarded. You can't do an analysis like that and say sexism. You have to start controlling for, okay, do men work more than women? Do men work different jobs than women? Are men more likely to relocate? Are men more likely to work dangerous jobs? Are men more likely to work overtime? All these sorts of different things. What kind of fields do men go in? What kind of things do men study? These sorts of things start to factor in, and if you do the controlled wage gap, it shrinks to 1 cent. 1 cent. Account for all these variables. Women earn 1 cent less than men.
Yep.
Well, that's great.
Yep. I mean, even think about in the military, like when men do more of like, I don't know why I can't think, like when they're like the ones who shoot. I can't think of the infantry. Yeah, infantry.
Combat, yeah.
They have higher pay because it's a more dangerous and hostile jobs.
And I get it should be that way. And I was talking about more so like the payment in the same career field. It is
Sure,
true.
but so first off, back in the 60s, a law was passed. If you're a woman and you can prove that your coworker is being paid more because they're a man, you can file a lawsuit and make a bunch of money. So there's a law protecting women for that. In addition, we really just don't see it. We don't see it. Also, to his point, the person who sent in the TTS, if it was the case that you could genuinely, and corporations there's not like this idea in a corporation where, we're just going to be really sexist for the sake of sexism, and we're just going to ignore the fact if women are just as good as men, they work just as hard, let's just go ahead and just keep hiring men, and it's going to cost our company more, we're going to be less competitive in the capitalist system. We live in a capitalist system. If you could get away with hiring women and saving 70% on your payroll, corporations, trust me, would not hire men. They would only hire women. It's just not true.
Yep. I mean, even with tattooing, like when I first started tattooing, it was like $30 a tattoo, just to do flashes and stuff. But now, like on average, I probably have 500 or more per client, but just as I've gained experience and stuff like that. And there's male tattoo artists who don't make as much as me, and there's also some that make more than me, and vice versa.
I'm talking
It's
about
just
more in like
experience.
corporate world where it's not really like controlled by like the like you are.
Yeah,
an
but I mean,
entrepreneur of
still,
your own
even in
business,
corporate
like,
world,
you
it's the same
choose
thing.
that.
It's the concept of experience, qualifications, like where your level is.
That's how it should
you
be,
know?
but it's not a lot. Like my mom was in a lawsuit like 4 years ago because
It's kind of like
she was in charge of.
It's like the concept of not all. I mean, there's always going to be like one or two instances.
Did she win the lawsuit?
She did, and she won under $20,000, and she was making over $400,000 a year. So it didn't exactly go in her favor, but that's what happened.
Well, she did get a payment, but
It was under $20,000. There was also sexual assault involved in the lawsuit.
well, okay, hold on. Now you're smuggling
And
in
it was.
this other thing.
I'm not smuggling it.
No, but if we're having a conversation about the wage gap, but when you bring a lawsuit and these people were underpaid.
Well,
but
there was a
BTW
lawsuit, and then there was the.
Yes, sexual harassment is different, though.
Yeah.
That's wrong. That's bad.
In total. They're separate things. Sorry, I was just
Right,
throwing
it is
that.
separate.
I'm saying that she didn't make a lot of money off of that. So like your argument that like you can make a crazy amount of money if you get paid less, that's like not always true. Like even with the sexual assault, like you were saying that you can like if you file a lawsuit because of that law, if you're getting paid less.
No, if you can
then
prove that there's sexual discrimination in your company and you are being discriminated against, paid less.
and it doesn't always go that way.
Well, I actually don't think I made a claim. Did I make a claim about how much money you can make?
You said
I
you can
suppose it
make a lot
depends.
of.
I suppose it depends.
Yeah, no,
You can bring a
I was just
lawsuit,
bringing
though.
it up.
You can bring a lawsuit. We have a chat. Actually, I'm going to wait on that chat. I do wonder, though, why does society care more about a female wage gap and not a male death gap?
That's a good.
In the workplace.
It's actually crazy that you said that because I saw this one video on TikTok where it was for men's mental health awareness, and it was like this girl, like it was like the sound of a screaming noise, and it was like when they say a moment of silence for men who've like committed suicide, and she's like screaming and dancing, and like it's just crazy. Again, you bring that
Sure.
up. That
I have to move off the wage gap stuff. Really quick, though, the basketball player, there was recently this controversy, the WNBA, all these female players. So basically, NBA players, top NBA players make a lot of money. WNBA players, they make like $100,000 a year, don't make a lot of money. They were like, hey, we want to make more. We want to be paid the same as the NBA players. What do you think?
They need it.
Into the mic, please. Just scoot your chair in, it might help.
I can't. There's no room.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
I feel like now for I honestly watched college basketball more than WNBA and NBA.
Here, I'll just
But-
go ahead.
I think now it's different because I think everyone can agree that the WNBA got better. Or like people started watching it more when Angel Reese and Paige Beckers came in. And I think everyone can agree on that. I don't know if
Okay,
you
sure.
guys-
I'll go ahead and agree that the
But-
WNBA
but
has
the-
gotten better than it used to
But
be.
the NBA, it's very different than the WNBA, and I.
So the question is, though, should WNBA players be paid the same as NBA players?
No.
If they want to be paid more, they need to.
Does anybody
Step
here
it up.
think that? Do you think that? You mentioned the wage
I mean,
gap.
no, like if it's like the supply and demand, you know what I mean? Like
Do you think that? Should the WNBA players be paid the same?
Don't they get paid
I
based
also
off
don't really know anything
fame?
about this.
That's
I'm
why
on the
they need to
fence.
increase views.
I'm on the fence. I would say it's a lot like minor league baseball players and major league baseball players. I mean, not many people watch WN. I don't think I've ever watched WNB, so I don't even know any of the professional players. So I would say it really depends on the player. Like, I think that's NBA, the same thing. I think that a good, fantastic WNB player, just as good as a good NBA player, should be paid the same. But
I think it just depends on how much you can watch, though.
It's literally, I don't think you understand the difference of physicality between men and women.
No, I understand. I do.
The best WNBA female player, WNBA, will get absolutely scorched by like a top level high school boys.
I was just about to say that.
Oh,
too.
yeah, of
and
course.
this isn't just the case in basketball. It's the
Can
case.
you play basketball?
Why would that matter?
I'm just asking.
I
I'm
don't see-
literally just asking
No.
you.
Wait.
No,
so
yeah,
you think,
a W-
So you
yeah, a
think
W-
like an average high school boy could beat Paige Beckers?
You know, he said
No,
top.
I'm saying like a
Absolutely
top
not.
high school boy will smoke a WNBA player.
Well, that's
100%
Yeah,
absolutely
100%.
not.
No,
Whoa. So here,
A
repeat.
top high school out of all
A
the high
top-
schools, or at like an average given high school
Honestly,
with like
Yeah,
bio,
sure.
like is he
Like
really
senior
tall
in high school?
Like is he like really tall?
I can honestly, I can.
look,
go ahead. It's okay. Own it. Own it.
I'm in between.
plays basketball.
Because I'm thinking, I don't know if it. Don't die. Tyron Stokes or Brandon McCoy. Tyron Stokes is a large. He's a man. He's a very large man.
yeah.
Obviously, a man who is that big and that much stronger than a woman, they would obviously clearly be a woman.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. We see this happen in almost all sports. Like for example, the women's national soccer team, and this happens in multiple countries, they will play against like the under 15 boys division and get fucking scorched. These are professional women. They're at the top of their Olympics. They're the Women's World Cup. They are the national teams. And I don't know why. Why are you looking like that? You look
Why am I
upset.
looking like what?
Oh no, you seem upset. You seem upset that I'm just
Well,
speaking facts.
I honestly couldn't tell you what the last two sentences that you said
Yeah,
were.
you're
I just
zoning out. You
for a
don't want to
second.
hear the fact. I don't
No,
understand.
I'm just give me
Women
a
are
second.
better
I'm
at-
waking up.
Women are better
Waking
at.
up.
Hold on. Women are better at some things than men. I can say that.
Yeah, that's the same
But-
thing we
but
sort of said
sports-
earlier. That like biologically, women are just not like.
Yeah. When it comes to sports, you can take like an amateur male athlete and he'll scorch a woman who's
Well,
a pro.
that's why we have the whole transgenders in sports thing.
Are you
there's a reason.
against that or?
I honestly keep my face out of that issue,
I'm
and I'm not
Against it.
She
transgender,
had
and I
strong
don't have transgender
I
feelings.
am totally against it.
I don't have transgender family. I don't watch sports, so I
Oh,
don't
okay.
care.
I'll take a
Like,
strong position. I don't think transgender people should be competing with women.
Hell no.
I don't.
agree.
Okay, I don't think so either.
I
but
agree.
I don't think.
W
I
solo.
shall think about
Did you play
it.
any sports solo?
Yeah, I played water polo and I swam for 11 years.
Okay.
Wasn't there a swimmer at Penn State?
Oh yeah,
Or
the
something?
Leah
What?
Thomas.
Yes.
Leah Thomas, and she was beating the women, and some women didn't get to get medals or get to go off to
I
compete.
think that is literally the most stupid thing anyone has ever thought was
Yeah.
to keep.
W
Agreed.
solo, guys. W's in the chat for based solo over there. Based solo.
Yeah. And I do have
actually-
transgender family members, and
Oh.
I agree with it.
Well, even
Like,
some
I
transgender
think
people.
it's-
A lot of transgender people say.
Are against it. You should
Yeah,
have
we
your
should-
own division.
Right.
Okay,
wait,
one of the
You don't see no transgender
team.
male competing
be a
in
part of
women.
this.
I mean, males. I mean,
It's
male
not
sports,
fair.
You know what I
I
mean?
get what
Whatever,
you're trying to
trans,
say.
whatever.
One of the girls
And I love you guys.
at
I'm sorry if those that are watching are my friends are trans.
Okay, they don't care.
They do. They
One
do.
of the girls at one of the high schools I transferred from, she recently just won state for triple jump, and the runner up, or like they tied for first place, was a transgendered female. So she technically won, but the person who
They tied for first, or
they just gave them, they both,
gave them first.
yes. That's
Me
what
and my
happened.
Not as good as being the only person who's first, you know?
Right, that is-
They still screwed her over.
They did.
And she
Me-
could have very closely lost that, you know? Go ahead.
Me and my sister had actually like a really long conversation about this topic because she's an excellent runner, always has been,
Yeah.
heavily involved in track all throughout school. And I think it's completely unfair because, like, let's say a woman from birth and then a transgender woman both endure the same training. all the way through, the transgender person will always win because they're taller
Yes.
and can have more muscle.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that is no discrimination towards transgender people at all. I'm
It's
all
just the
for
truth.
everyone do whatever the hell you want,
You
and you
just
be
want
that happy
fairness.
person.
Right, 'cause
It's
it's not
just biology.
fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
You
It's
just
just
want
not
things to
fair.
be fair.
Yeah, because honestly, when I played softball and I played a little bit of college softball, and I'm not gonna lie, I would be terrified if like a 5'10" transgender was up to bat and I played third base. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be scared.
I would be mad if I lost.
I'd be
Like first
terrified.
place to a biological male, I would be pissed.
Pissed.
I would be really pissed.
Pissed.
Yes.
All right.
Like, what the
Well, look, ultimately,
It's such a hard topic though, because then it's like,
it's not
okay,
that
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
so no, it is
doesn't
because
matter.
what about
Category.
transgender women who want to play sports? Who are they
They
supposed to
should
be?
have their own team.
Yeah, either have
where
their own
they should
team.
be.
They should
like,
compete
able
against
to
each
do
other.
that.
Yeah, their own team, or
Right.
still be in like play with males.
And I feel like it would be unfair for the trans people not to understand where we as women are coming from because it's like it's not fair for us to compete in that same room when it's like you
Also,
clearly have an advantage.
isn't
Yeah.
water polo like really physical? Like you
Extremely.
don't want like people like.
I
hit
wouldn't
each
want to
other
be
or
in touching
whatever.
gender there. I played with the guys. They're gross.
I played hockey. I would shit my pants if like a 6'2"
That's what I'm saying.
person coming at me.
Again, getting a line drive by a man right at third base, that's real close. That's real
Shit.
close. Yeah,
You ever
that's
seen
real
South
close.
Park?
Well, because I feel like for sports, it's not even about like gender or what you identify as, whatever the hell. It's
Has
about
nothing
sex.
to do with
It's
it.
about what you were born as and what you are
How much
biologically.
And what you're
testosterone you
capable
have.
of doing.
Got pasty
Pasty
George.
George
Here.
donated $200.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
When
it.
the WNBA wasn't doing so well, it started to blame men for its low ratings and low ticket sales. My question is, where were all the women and feminists? Why were they not supporting it?
Women have different interests. I feel like women aren't, generally speaking, as into sports as men are. It's okay. Women just have.
That goes into what you said earlier.
Like watching sports,
They pick
I mean.
and choose. Feminists pick and choose what benefit, like what is actually
Also,
like, the best
the WNBA
benefiting.
loses money. It's been a. Nick was an NBA draft, but he hurt his knee.
No
He's
way.
a tall. I'm serious. Nick, tall guy, handsome guy, very handsome, looking very sharp in his little blue light.
What do you mean by that?
What are they called? Blue light blocking glasses there. He hurt his knee, man, and unfortunately, now he works for the whatever podcast. Fuck, man, that sucks, dude. Anyways.